here. In the upper right hand corner we have from AT Gaming, it's Jona. He's the blue Zerg player who has got the opportunity to close out this clan war with a 4-1 scoreline. In the lower left hand corner his opponent will be the orange Terran player from Karnage eSports, InZaNe. So TVZ here, best matchup that we could get. I'm so glad. You know, at this point I'm actually kind of sick of seeing TVPs. We've seen so many TVPs today and they all play out the same way. Apart, well, you know, in the early game, and that actually makes it. Usually, I don't complain about too much about TVP early game, but we saw so many, and we didn't see a single Oracle opening or anything. Like, what's what gives? Blink's so popular today. All right, Jona moves his overlord back and forwards again as the barracks comes down here at the start for InZaNe, and the gas as well. It's just going to be a standard Reaper opening here for our Terran player. Alright, so spawning pool comes down in the back of the main middle line here for Jona. And drone gonna come across here and put down this hatchery as well. Barracks is about to finish up, and SSV will patrol away here and make a deeper Reno. I guess that isn't something we should ever had Eno added onto the end of it. So yeah, bit of a slow start then. First Reaper's on the way, a couple of Lings on the way. Gas being taken by Jona here on Expedition Lost, and I imagine, I guess, you know, Roach attacks and stuff and Roach styles are a little bit more popular on this map than others because of the way the back rocks can be utilised as the Zerg with Roaches to kind of attack all over the place, avoid bunkers on the natural, etc. That's kind of interesting. A couple of Lings here behind the mineral line, and Reaper on the way across the map. And we'll be heading in here to try and get a little bit of damage done. Second Reaper on the way as well. But again, nothing too crazy at the start, just very standard openings from both players. As InZaNe will look around for a way to scout, maybe. Playing back and forth with this Queen. More than anything, it'd be nice if you could just see the gas. But he's not going to risk running in there. And he just checks the low ground for a drone, but there isn't a drone available to kill. And he'll just come back up here. Back at home, factory and reactor to start up. And Reaper still really wants to probably try and save that gas. Moving down here, he's actually going to find a couple of drones to attack. And the first one will become an extractor. Second one will become a pile of blood and a carcass. So yeah, there isn't a drone there, a little bit of a shame. Second Reaper left at home to deal with any potentially incoming Zerglings which are trying to run by and be annoying. But none of them coming down. And Jona with his third Queen about to pop out here as well to help with the creep spread and injects, etc. As Reaper will just run on by and go into towards the main base. Again, he never actually scouted the gas, and that's something which I think he wants to try and scout now, but he dies before he sees it still. So no real information gained from him there. And commands going to finish us up on the low ground. Third CC on the way. Good old standard free CC from our Terran player. Nothing too crazy about that. Namshar did not play today because Namshar is skiing apparently. If as the college manager told me, or the college manager mentioned somewhere, I think, unless I'm just completely imagining things again and making shit up, but I don't think I am. Hatchery comes down here then at this third base for Jona as he starts to spread his creep out into the middle of the map as well. So again, this creep spread is going to be important as the game goes on. Stop the Terran player from advancing forwards too quickly, you know, slow down his attacks a little bit, force scans for it to be cleaned up. Creep spread a very, very vital part of the ZVT matchup. And yeah, first few Hellions and Reaper are going to move out. He's just going to actually clean up his third base to begin with this first Hellion, and then should move across the map with the rest of them. He's actually going to hit the watchtower just in time to see these Zerglings coming in, and these Zerglings will hit the watchtower just in time to see them Hellions leaving. So Jona and InZaNe have a pretty good idea about where their opponents are right now. Jona actually still with his Zerglings down here. As the Hellions move up through the middle of the map, Hellions numbers 5 and 6 joining up with them very soon. As extra barracks on the way down. That reactor on the factory will be for the barracks as well. And 3 Queens will actually block off these 6 Hellions, and going to try and get something done, but probably won't be able to do too much, and pulls back pretty much as we expect. As a run-by comes into the natural, only 3 Marines here, and these Zerglings are probably going to get quite a bit of damage done. Jona not paying quite enough attention to them right now, though, and again, these SCVs will start to fall, so there's 2 kills already. Hellions already back, though. They made their way back quite quickly then in the end, as 3 workers killed, 3 workers have been killed overall, and this last Zergling wants to move away. A lot of the Zerglings kept alive though, and that's pretty good going. So some lost mining time. You know, a mule died off while he was running away. Zergling in the main base too gets a perfect scout, sees absolutely everything, and Zergling's back into the main, into the natural. And there's a lot of workers just on low hit points here, which could do a lot of, and these Zerglings could do a lot of damage. But maybe it would have been better to go for some hold position micro instead there. So. Some Zerglings are moving back here, going to take the middle of the map, and continuing to be pushed through the centre. As Jona is going to sit with an overload here and there, just see any incoming attacks. Quite weird to see the overload so far forward, because they're so easily picked off, of course, by Marines. I mean, you know, they don't really gain anything, because very shortly the creep's going to be a little bit further forwards here, so probably wants to start pulling them back a little bit. I mean, this overload to the right is quite nice, because you can see drops with that. Maybe send an overload like up to the top left or something, try and spot for some drops up there. Bayonet's about to finish up, 1-1 upgrades coming in for both players. A little bit of a delay on the +1 melee, +1 weapons for our Terran, as he's about to get his first 2 medevacs rolling. Stims finished, and combat shields will be started up here very soon as well. And he's just gone up to 5 racks as well, so pretty standard stuff so far. Hellion's still alive from the start of the game, and as an army kicks in another minute or two, we'll see them become Hellbats and you know, amplify the power of this first push. For now, we'll just be used to not actually take the watchtower. This Marine wanted to prove himself, and he will be able to prove himself. Takes down on Zergling, a little bit unnecessary. But hey, Marines, they love the frills. Alright, so InZaNe just getting set up on this 3rd base right now. There's Jona with his 1-1 about to finish. They're about to finish too, so about to see, you know, the good old centrifugal hooks come in. We're going to see Spire start up. He actually starts Pneumatized Carapace as well. He has Pneumatized Carapace about to finish, so he can move his overlords around a little bit more quickly. He actually has pulled those overlords back, or repositioned them a little bit, from what we were mentioning a little bit earlier on. As 1-1 kicks in and combat shields, we're going to see the kind of first push through the middle of the map from InZaNe, who's going to just be looking to kind of clean up some creep spread here initially, and he will actually kill off all of these active tumors. No cancels from Jona there. A couple of them do survive to the right-hand side, but that makes InZaNe's job a little bit easier. And when he moves forwards next, he will have a scan available, most likely, to clean out the rest of this creep through the middle of the map. Might decide to, you know, aim his efforts towards the left-hand side instead, because it depends where he thinks he's going to be attacking most. If he's going to attack more up the left-hand side of the map, more so than anywhere else, it's probably worthwhile dropping the scan up here. And that's a little bit of a shame of a scan, as he just managed to evacuate the Marines at least. But the unit's well positioned there by Jona, ready to, you know, he knew what was happening actually. You know, he had a pretty good idea already about the fact his opponent was going to come in, try and clean up that creep, and he was prepared for it, and he dealt with it very easily. Dropping into a nice position here, but the Banelings, drops the Hellion on top of the Banelings there. That's actually pretty nice. But these Marines, okay, these Marines actually will deal with them Zerglings, but more, well, Queens are actually coming up to help with that. Some Zerglings going to run by here, but they'll just keep on running into reinforcements of Marines, so they won't be able to get too much done. I'm going to get over to the 3rd base where there is a bunker as well. This drop is still doing damage over here. Medevac will fall though. And finally the last couple of Zerglings cleaned up. These Zerglings actually picking off the SCVs which are out of range of the bunker. Now they will go down though. The 4 workers killed on either side, as actually have a drop into the natural as well. Good damage done, but well, not really good damage, but similar damage done by both players. Mules about to come out, so drops are going to be a lot more, you know, a lot more of a risk now, as will basically cost him a medevac every time he tries to drop because of the Mutalisks here. So these 2 medevacs will only be cleaned up here initially. 2-2 is really far along here for Jona, and it's very delayed for InZaNe, so he's definitely forgotten about this for a while, or he's forgot his armory, and having his 2-2 delayed is a big deal. You know, the big thing about it, you know, as a Terran player, one of the big things you rely on is you get to a point in the game where you have a very efficient army for a lot longer, while your opponent is stuck trying to maybe, you know, get off of Mutilating Bane. That's not really going to be the case here with his lack of upgrades, as we actually see Banelings connecting with these bunkers, and well, they take down 2 supply depots and a and a bunker, but that's it, so not really worthwhile. At the same time, though, pushing through the middle of the map. InZaNe gets some great mine hits here. 2 mine hits, cleaning up a lot of Zerglings, as at the same time, we're going to see him drop over to the right-hand side, clean up a couple of these Overlords. Okay, just grabs that one, and we'll grab this one as well. So cleans up a couple of Overlords as these Marines get dropped off in a bit of a train line. From those 2 medevacts, and drop will come up towards the right hand side now. Jona still leaving some units over here. Another Overlord not quite in range of their medevacts being able to pick it off. Neither is this one, I don't think. As Marines are going to find an opportunity to go in towards the main base. Second turret being added on here. But this is going to be kind of forfeiting the 4th base for themselves, essentially. So Jona's going to lose his 4th base. These Marines are going to try and do the best damage they can, but they're already taking damage here. 2 meters have fallen to these initial Marines. And Jona taking a lot of damage, but Bailey's coming in. Whoa, the mine hits! Well, they were there in the end, but it seemed to take an eternity for them to go off. This 4th base should go down. I mean, the Marines are in such a good position with no more Banelings. It's going to be very, very difficult for the Zerglings and Mutants on their own to clean this up. And at the same time, we actually have a drop still in the main base doing a little bit of damage here. Medivac will be picked off by the Queen. So Jona will actually deal with all of the units out on the map, but loses his 4th base for it. And I mean, losing your 4th base is never ideal as a Zerg player. +2 attacks has finished for InZaNe. He starts up his +3 now, so not going to let them upgrades slip anymore. He did eventually start that +2 armor as well, so shortly it will be even on upgrades. Until then, the Zerg Jona will just keep that advantage. And these units moving through the middle, they'll try and clean up the creep spread again. I mean, Jona's always been on top of re-establishing this creep every time that InZaNe is trying to scan forward and clean it up. It's happening once again here, and another scan should be able to clean up this creep once again, most likely. Okay, maybe just doesn't have another scan just yet. So we also have creep coming down this right side. Just so many avenues for creep to spread here, and it's so hard for the town to clean it all up. So he's going to refocus his attention over towards the left-hand side now. And this is seen by a couple of Zerglings here. Jona moving forwards with his army. Banelings are coming in range as well. He's actually going to morph the Banelings in front of these Marines. As the rest of the army comes in here, the mines have burrowed, but pretty far back. As these Marines begin to split, the mine's not really getting great connections at all. He's just going to have to fall back here. He's got a drop going in towards the main base at the same time. He needs his reinforcements right now, and these medevacts should just about be able to make it out. This drop into the main is going to be very important. He needs to kind of, well, it's actually going to be dealt with quite quickly because the Banelings crash into their Marines. And the drop does absolutely nothing here as Jona's actually attacking into this army. Whoa! The rocks get killed down. Was that Jona who killed them? Because if he did, he just trapped his own Zerglings in. And, okay, these Zerglings will just retreat here. This medevac probably going to get picked off as well. Looks like a mine shot went off on one of these mutalisks, but nothing too major. As InZaNe. If he spent his money, he'd be maxed out right now. He needs to add on a few more Marauders as well. Generally, want to add in a bunch of those Marauders, get them to tank the Baneling hits a little bit, as Mutas will actually find a medevac there, which isn't really meant to happen. Yeah, a few SCVs being sent up this right hand side of the map, and that just being sacrificed as a 4th base will be established for InZaNe. In a few moments time, +3 weapons is about to kick in, so finally the town player going to get his upgrade advantage here. As a mine burrows, that's going to be a big mine hit on a bunch of the Banelings there, and more Marines will keep on splitting here, more mines ready to go off. There's a lot of Banelings here still though, but a 4 as well will also do a good job against these Mutas. The mines are pretty much all dealt with now though, as more Marines continue to stream forwards here, and InZaNe just needs to keep spending that money, and reinforcements should deal with this. He's actually taken, killed off a lot of these mutalisks, and that's pretty big, as these last few Zerglings will get killed off by that mine. So, at the same time, they're actually a run by over towards this potential 4th base. Bane's morphing in over here as well. Units are going to get streamed across by InZaNe too. He's actually 30 supply, 25 supply down right now, and the last couple of fights haven't been so great for him, it seems. As these extra Banes are about to finish morphing in. The Zerglings will just escape though. He won't take this fight just yet, as InZaNe will land this 4th base, and he'll get that run in here, as Jona with a 5th base coming up to the right hand side of the map. So InZaNe just chilling out. He's actually going to open up the back rocks here so that he can have a bit of an easier access for reinforcements towards this base. A lot of Balins looking to come in over towards the 3rd though, and there's not many SCVs left over here, but still a few which you could pick off. Couple of Marines taking this watchtower once again. Some Zerglings will respond to that very, very quickly. +3 armor does now begin for our town players again. For getting those upgrades early on kind of reverberates here throughout the entire game. A couple of the creep queens though, they're going to get cleaned up, and that's not good. Losing the creeping queens, and again the creep starting to be pushed back a little bit here as the Banelings do crash in through that wall, but the Marines and mines are probably going to be able to deal with this. They actually pick off a couple of mines. The rest of the Banelings go off on the refinery, which is Intriguing as whoa, big run by over here though. As these SCVs are going to try and escape. And Jona not going to blow the Banelings up as he probably shouldn't. Only 6 workers killed in total in doing both of those attacks. A couple of Banelings peeled off to try and force this army away a little bit. As Jona makes 50 more Zerglings here. A lot more Banelings being morphed in as well. Jona with a bunch of money. A lot of minerals, not much gas, and probably would like to get this gas running on his 5th base. He actually doesn't have gas on his 4th either. So I'd imagine he would want those. I mean, if you can make a few more meters, that's great. If you can make a couple of if you can make him a few more meters, that's great. If you can make a couple more Banelings, that's always going to be a good thing as well. As these meters are going perfectly to actually intercept these drops right now. These medevacs need to realize, and they need to unload. And he will begin to unload behind the line of sight blockers actually, which is actually really useful. And I mean, these drops actually going to turn out to be a good thing because they're actually going to be able to deflect this aggression as he moves up towards the left-hand side. So again, looking to kill off this 4th base here. Scan comes down as the Banelings start advancing forwards. Mine's not really hitting off on anything just yet. More Banelings will begin crashing through, and InZaNe, he's taking an okay fight here, but at the same time he's got aggression at his 3rd slash natural. And these medevacs have nothing to really defend them from these mutalisks. A few marines in the middle of the map here and there will deflect them enough to actually keep these medevacs alive, and that's pretty important. Again, plus 3 armor will kick in very soon for our Terran player. But at the same time, Jona's found the opportunity to go up to Hive, so he's going into Hive, which means 3-3 for the Zerg will be on the way very soon. And as 3-3 comes in for the Zerg, we're probably going to see an Ultra Cavern possibly come down as well, adrenal glands, and just in general, the Zerg army becomes a little bit beefier, a little bit more dangerous, as again, trading up towards this 4th base. The Mutas are nowhere to be seen to join in with this fight, and, well, the Banelings get absolutely destroyed over here, not really getting the connections they found previously. Mutas will try and counterattack now over towards this base, but how important is this base? It's pretty much mined out at this point. Gets a few SCVs maybe, but he loses his 4th base. He's got a base up to the right. But again, losing his base, I'm not sure. Again, I mean, reinforcements should be able to come in and save at least one of these orbitals. And okay, so he's going to lose an orbital. He's lost 10 workers because of 4th base. He's actually continuing pushing as well. He's not spared. There's a lot of Banelings up ahead though, and he will fit into that first mine. A couple more mines do burrow here. As InZaNe will try and come up this ramp, see what he can achieve. The mines don't get any hits there. The Banelings dealing with them quite quickly. As InZaNe not really split at the front there. And we'll probably lose the majority of this army. We'll boost away now with the medevacs. He needs to find his reinforcements as soon as possible. A few marines here should... Well, actually, I mean, there's Zerglings and Banelings here as well. As he's going to start dropping marines one by one, which means that these Banelings will not trade very effectively. Here come more reinforcements here. And InZaNe pushing up once again. As he probably needs to run away. He probably needs to land this base somewhere else, man. Like... He's not on that great of an economy right now. 49 SCVs to 81 drones. And Jona has a fresh base over here, still mining off this 3rd quite nicely. This 3rd is gone for InZaNe. As units actually have to come back, so InZaNe cancels his aggression to come deal with these mutalisks. Not much damage being done by these mutas, only 5 workers killed, but again, that's a 10th of the economy there for InZaNe at this point, or a 10th of the SCVs. Of course, got a bit more economy because he has mules behind it as well. And a drop going to come along to the right hand side. Jona has actually taken a gold base in the middle of the map, which is interesting. I think InZaNe is doing the right thing here, moving up towards this 5th base now. He really needs to do that. Mutas are distracted by that drop for a couple of moments. He's actually heading towards the bottom right, where he thinks maybe the next base for the Terran player will be. But in fact, it is not. There is nothing down here at all. And Jona will just fly away, and he's going to try and take down these depots instead. So depots will fall here. And... well, Manson lands, so he's finally going to get a new base up, which is again something he's really been needed for quite some time. Yeah, these drones not really getting to mine off of this gold base, which isn't much of a surprise. Moves into the natural though, and that's going to be another orbital command falling here from InZaNe, and slowly but surely Jona is picking him apart. He's going to be able to take down these turrets, and there's nothing really at all in this main base to help out. A few marines, but Mutas maybe in high enough numbers to deal with that. Oh, but the run by at the same time to this newly established base. He hasn't had the money to morph into Plunger yet, and all the works will fall here as Mutas come back in towards the 4th base as well, and that's going to be over 20 SCVs killed in just the past few seconds. And InZaNe is really starting to lose this game now. This base, this command center actually falls as well, and Jona is in a fantastic position here. I thought things were a little bit troublesome for him, when he was losing that 4th base. InZaNe looked as though he was doing okay, but now not so much. Jona going to morph in a bunch more Banelings. He has a big attack comes through the middle of the map. InZaNe going to try and see what he can get up to. He's got this one army. He's 100 army supply to 80. He's got one army to maybe get some miracle mine hits with, or just one good engagement. That's all he needs to kind of, well, he needs a little bit after that as well. But he needs this one good engagement. That's what he really needs right now to kind of do something. Jona doesn't have much of a bank, so if he can just take that one good fight, he might be okay. And these mutas getting turned away as they're going to get cornered here a little bit. They're going to just kind of head towards the main base where there's actually Marines waiting for them. And mutas are actually completely cornered here. This is really nice. Fall go off and get a couple of shots as well. And well, the mutas are just going to attack in towards the third. He grabs the 4, which is actually a pretty big pick off here. As that Marine's actually on in range, and he's actually going to lose a couple of medevacs instead. So that's a little bit of a shame. The mutas will finally find their way out. And Jona takes the army supply lead now once again. Plus 2 carapace coming up on the mutalisks here gives him a little bit more vitality against these Marines when he does go up against them and takes a few shots. And well, here we go, big army, and this could be the deciding fight of the game. Can InZaNe make it happen? I don't think so, because he's not really prepared to fight. The mines go off, picked off by the mutas before he's able to get any hits off. And well, the splits need to be fantastic here, and honestly so far they just really aren't. And Jona, 100 supply ahead, will take game number 5 as InZaNe taps on out, and Jona secures the first clan war of the season here for AT Gaming. 4 games.